In there. Scroll. Guys, so one of the things that's come up quite a few times is people and their insecurities. Stan and I were talking about it this morning on our walk. We normally walk and get a little coffee. We're having a discussion about how to stay focused on value and value exchange. One of the most valuable places 9 out of 10 dogs will ever live is in a home. A home is still an apartment. Here we are in the backyard. You say you guys are in that backyard quite a bit. Well, we got some neighbors that I don't imagine are too fond of this type of breed, but realistically, the dogs, they get walked, but even more importantly, they're gonna be in the house, in the backyard, and then we're gonna travel with them every now and then. That being said, look at these two dogs playing. Where else are they supposed to have some good fun? One of my favorite things when I was a kid was being around some friends. I gotta be honest, the crazy part is somewhere something shifted. And when it shifted, I no longer liked people. But I never was super fond of them, but I enjoyed hanging out with Jeff Bordelais, Jeff Montgomery, Brady Cromwell, Jake Geyser, etc. I had some buddies, man. We had some buddies. And we have fun all summer long. Good times. So in this case, you say, hey, how do you rid yourself of insecurities and uncertainty? Well, what's this dude doing? When it comes to dogs, it means it requires practice. Well, when it comes to life, it requires practice. When it comes to getting a job, you know how like you get a job and you're super unsure, you're a little bit nervous, and as you get accustomed to the job, you start doing less, and the less you do is because you figured out how to get more done while not having to do all that work you thought you had to do early on. It's because you got over your insecurity of being unsure through practice. Practice is one of the most important things on earth. Stan, go ahead and let it go. Now, Stan, tell them what are some things that you're practicing as you become a better man?
Communication. Working on being clear, saying what I mean, and not worried about what other people are thinking about my opinion on different situations. Jamarcus and I were talking about that earlier, and that's going to be a good topic one day. Just clarity, just knowing where I want to go, who I want to be around, and not dealing with the bullshit that I was before.
And when you say bullshit, walking through that, a lot of times people are unclear about the bullshit. Here's the thing, you know, I don't read comments and argue with anybody because the vision is so much bigger than a few people in these comments. And I like that we started conversations. What's a conversation? People that disagree, people that agree, people that do like this. It's a conversation in all regards. Don't mean I need to be the person to control the conversation. The dialogue, hey, cut it out. The dialogue that I'm seeing or at times have seen, seen people have, you go, that's a good exchange of information because it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah. The bullshit is people trying to tell you what's best to do with your dogs, or I wouldn't do that if I was you. Well, you're not me. You don't live the way that I live with my dogs. You don't want to do the things that I do with my dogs. And I had to just basically get out of my own way and figure out what I wanted to do with my dogs. Competitions are cool. All that stuff is cool, but we live with our dogs 365 days a year, and I want to be able to do something with them even though I'm not competing. So hanging out, like you said, come in the backyard, throw the frisbee, all of this different stuff, and even stuff that people say you shouldn't do with your dog. You shouldn't have multiple dogs hanging out and playing around. Like, why not? Like, they should have freedom to be a dog sometimes. And that doesn't mean they just get to run the house and do whatever the hell they want. There is a routine, there is structure. But at the end of the day, my dogs are going to be dogs, and we're going to go hang out, and I'm going to live with my dogs.
Yeah, you heard people say the same before. You know, kids going to be kids. People going to be people. Men, men are just going to be men. You know, we're a little rowdy at times. We get a little aggressive. We want to throw our testosterone around and fight and wrestle and do all kinds of fun things. But the bottom line is this. I know Stan has worked through quite a few of his challenges. I know Jamarcus is working on himself. I'm not going to tell you that I'm done working on myself. If anything, I get a little bit more sure about my values every day, but those values have been clear, which is why he's here. Jamarcus behind the camera and all the other places that we go. They trust that I'm going to do what I say, and even more importantly, that I'm going to add value to their lives. It's always been that way. I don't get doing less than, being less than, accepting less than, or putting up with less than. And I'm happy to, mind you, to remove myself. Some people think I gotta fight, I got a point to prove, they gotta do as I say. Hey, they made me, they disrespected me. I just leave. Too much energy. Even that just, it's like, woo. You say, hey, good luck. Just good luck. When they start doing you say, I'm not gonna fight that fight. I have a much bigger fight at hand. So Uh-oh, he got it. That boy's got some archery. You call archery right there.
The goose squat.
Hey, this is the gist of it. Our dogs are our dogs like your dogs are your dogs. People have asked me many times, what do you think of my dog? I said, listen, let me be reminded to tell you this. It's your dog. Somebody told you your kid was ugly and stupid. You gotta deal with that one.
Is it the truth? Do you have an ugly kid?
And here's the truth. If it gets to you, it might be true. Someone says, I don't like your dogs. I see it all the time. Oh, dog's too skinny, too this. It's like, oh, that's what I like. I don't like fat dogs. I don't like fat things. I don't like unhealthy things. I don't like being unhealthy. And I've been to a close place where everything was difficult. And we had to change that, to say the least. So, whenever you're doing what you're doing, do it with faith, do it with love, do it with care, do it with consideration. Do it because you believe in it. And even more important, as he said, don't let people get to you, man. 9 out of 10 people will never come back in the backyard. It's never gonna happen. When we get land, they never come to my land. It's not gonna happen. 9 out of 10 people will never be invited. And there will be 1%. 1% who get to come into our world, experience, and live up to our expectation. But even more important, just have a good time. It might change who they are. So stay tuned, take care of anything else you want to add.
Right? Just get out of your own way sometimes. If nobody want to go with you, just walk alone. You'll find the right people.
There you go, man. Take care of your dogs, people.